Hi everyone.
Well, what can we say about this show? Um,
When where was the start? When are we gonna start in what? So
well, it's gonna be there's going to be a lot of spoilers here, so we're gonna give you our general thoughts on the show, and then we're gonna get to the story of it because I don't think we can really explain and tell you about the show without spoiling anything. Well, you want to start with what you thought or what I thought?
I can give you my ideas and we're going to discuss them. So first, there was a lot of expectation.
Huge one. I think it was my most anticipated show
Yeah.
in recent years.
There is a huge budget about the buying of the rights.
$450 million to be precise.
Every chapter will $50 million invest. So probably the most expensive
It is the
series.
most not only series, it's the most expensive project ever.
Yeah. So there's a lot of expectation, and we love the Lord of the Ring, as everyone knows.
You see the collectibles here, and you've probably seen from recent videos as well.
And we kind of anxious to see the result. So let's talk about the result.
What can I tell you? I'm gonna start with the first episode. I think the first episode is the best episode in the series. There are a lot of vague stuff. You don't know really what's going on. They build you a lot of things, and I really liked the first episode.
Yeah.
I think it was the best in the series. There was evil, there was good. You have good motivations to characters, and I thought to myself, well, the first episode is really good. The second episode kind of continues it. I kind of liked the first two episodes.
Yeah.
I remember first watching them. I was like, you know what? That's actually better than I expected.
Yeah, I think in the first we saw ideas that can be
We saw
developed
potential.
to.
We saw potential.
Yeah, they took our attention, and we are kind of sit and watch and whoa, what's going to be? And there was a lot of a little clue about what will be the next. So I think it was a good chapter, very interesting, visuality of course, and by all measure, and also the customs was very good, the clothes and everything, in high standards, and I think from here it just
Took a tumble off the cliff.
yeah, it's just went down and down and down.
I don't want this video, just for your clarity, guys. I don't like to shit on things. I don't like to say bad things about. If you see, most of our videos most of them are positive, and they have like we most of the time we give good reviews because we want to review good things. But we talked about this show a lot of times in recent years and in recent videos and or in most of our videos as well. And I feel like I have to do this video, and I'm extremely disappointed.
I think they win the bad criticism that we are going to give them by all meaning, I think. So let's start.
Before we get into spoilers, I'm going to give you my general thoughts on the show. As I said, I think not only is it badly written, I'm not joking, the dialogue in this series is atrocious.
Yeah.
The motivations of characters, there are a lot of things here that are extremely bad. And before I get into more bad stuff, I do want to give some good props to the good things in this show. The production, the value and places that they go, and the environment and buildings and visuality, and is probably the best I've seen. Like seeing Valinor and seeing Numenor, seeing everything in the show is breathtaking. Like visually, it's one of the most breathtaking experience I've ever had. But it hides something, and I think it hides one of the biggest problems with the show. It hides that it's super shallow,
Yeah.
and the plot, the pacing, everything is extremely bad. And I do want to give one more prop to one more thing. Bear McCreary does an amazing score for this show. Even though I don't like this show, the music is very good. It honors the spirit of Howard Shore. I believe in music wise. To me, I really like the music here. I don't know what about you, but for me, I love the music. I think Bear McCreary is really a great composer with God of War as well. You want to say your thoughts before we get into the spoilers and the...
First, we must realize there is a lot of limitation in this production. You can see here the Lord of the Rings book. See how fat it is, and thousands of of pages over here. And would you mind to find me the amount of pages they bought in $250 million?
טוב, דבר בינתיים.
Of course, I will speak.
תביא את הדעות שלך.
So there has a lot of limitation. They cannot use anything from Peter Jackson's movies. They are not allowed to mention anything from The Hobbit, of course. So they have to invent everything. So to invent a good story, it's a hard thing to do. But to making something as the Lord of the Rings, by the spirit of the Lord of the Rings, is super difficult.
So I got it over here.
Okay. From the books, this is the amount of pages.
What Amazon bought is the appendices of the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And if you can see here, it's about this long. And it's from page 1034 to page 1138. So that's about 100 pages. Amazon bought the rights for 100 pages for $250 million. To me, it's outrageous. I think something went wrong. I don't think Amazon knew exactly what they bought. They just said, oh, Lord of the Rings, well, let's buy it.
It's a good brand. It's a good brand. We want it, and we're going to pay whatever it takes.
I don't know who in Amazon thought that buying this amount of pages for that amount of money is a good business, a good investment.
So we both agree that the writers have
huge limitations,
huge problem to make a good stories, and somehow to combine all the characters together. This is the main issue.
So as I've said, the appendices is not really a story. It's more of a history of Middle Earth and then the lines and
the land of the families and all the names.
So they have to invent a lot of stuff, and for that I gave them the benefit of the doubt here. The problem that I have, and before we get into spoiler, is when you invent new stuff or change the lore, change it in a good way. Make it better. Don't make it worse, and don't make it...
it doesn't match.
Yeah, it doesn't make any reason. You want to say unreasonable. Yeah. So now there's going to be spoilers. The changes...
First of all, I want to add something. Do you think they succeed in the main story to pass the feelings of the Lord of the Rings for us?
There are points here and there where I felt...
Points is not enough, I'm sorry.
But that's what I'm saying. There are points and little tidbits and here and there that I felt the magic. Not because it was good, but because I want to love this show.
Yeah,
Believe me.
We all want to love it.
I'm such a huge fan of the Middle Earth that Peter Jackson crafted. I'm a huge fan of the movies. I've read The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. I didn't read anything else by Tolkien, but I think Peter Jackson adapted not only the best he could, to me he improved on the books even. So that's how highly I think of the movies, and that's why
we can understand criticism about hardcore fans that say that Peter Jackson changed the stories and maybe heard the story. I don't know. This is opinion. We have to respect this.
The things that he changed the... אתה רוצה להמשיך?
No.
לא, תראה. לא, אני אחתוך את זה.
I think that Peter Jackson did a marvelous job on The Lord of the Rings, for me. The books were too messy for me to understand. I have to admit. I like the order that he made, the changes that he made. But from here to what they've done...
A huge problem here with the lore changes and what I want to say is Peter changed stuff, but he changed them with logic and to improve the movie. Think about it. When Arwen saves Frodo,
Yeah.
it's not in the book. It's a character named Glorfindel.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really add to, when you think about it, it doesn't really add to the story, and it makes Arwen even better, not just a love story to Aragorn.
Yeah.
He gives her a character.
Some sort of a fighter.
And he decided to cut Tom Bombadil from the
Yeah.
movies. I think for the better. Tom
Yeah,
Bombadil is a
completely.
really joyous character, and
It's nice for kids, but it's not.
he's really charmful, but he doesn't add to the scariness of the world. He takes from it, and the ring doesn't do anything on him.
Yeah.
So it takes from the power of the ring. And there's another point here that I made. Just a second. He decided that, Ron can't defeat the Uruk-hais of Isengard alone in Helm's Deep. So he decided, you know what? Let's bring them an army of elves to help them.
Listen,
And
I think the problems are very big in this series. I think the building of the characters were bad. The connection between them were very weak in the best way. In the best way, it was very weak, and I didn't connect to the character. I don't know how to explain it to you. I didn't bought the idea they are somewhere they are going to work together. It's all was, I don't know, they pay attention to things that not important. I think the writing was bad, the performance was bad, the actor, most of them,
depends
most
on
of,
who.
just a
Depends
second,
on who.
just a second. Most of the actor played very bad. The story badly connect to each other, too long. They stay on the boring things. A lot of talking, a lot of I don't know what, but I thought to myself, if it's continue like this, I want to close the TV and move to other things because I don't care what happened next.
yeah.
They catch us with the first episode, and they catch us with the last episode barely. I said barely because there is a problem over there also. There's huge mistakes in the timeline of the Lord of the Rings on I don't say about the movie The Lord of the Rings, but the main
The universe.
of the universe. There's a lot of mistakes. We cannot
So
point
now-
it here, but we have.
We will. We
Yeah,
are going
we-
to
we have
talk,
few
we are
points
going
that
to
we-
talk about spoilers now. I want to talk about spoilers, and it connects to the law changes that they did. I think the biggest mistake here is the timeline that they chose is really all over the place because they do stuff that happens in the lore hundreds of years later, and they just mishmashed into one timeline. When you think about and there's like huge problems with time. Time in this series doesn't exist. Journeys sometimes take a couple of episodes, and sometimes they're just like poof, the next scene they're there.
Yeah.
So is this world huge or small? So I'm gonna talk about some things that didn't add to me and just took from the experience. I think the biggest one to me is Halbrand being Sauron.
Yeah.
You kind of suspect it because it's like you don't know him, but think of all the things.
I think in the beginning it was something that tried to duplicate Aragorn. In the beginning, I never thought about evil things. Okay, he helps Galadriel. He is some sort of king who doesn't want to be a king or doesn't want to be noticed as a king. It's the same as it's Aragorn. But I said to myself, okay, we are going to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, but the problem with his story is you don't see a motivation of being Sauron until the story tells you that he is Sauron.
Yeah.
He finds Galadriel out of nowhere
He helped us.
in the middle of a sea on a raft. He helps her. Okay, you know what? Coincidence happened.
Yeah.
When they get to Numenor, Galadriel wants to bring an army and fight, and she wants to divide. She doesn't want to divide Numenor, but when you think about it, it kind of divides Numenor. But Halbrand over there didn't want to do anything. He just wanted to be a guild, a smith there.
It's a very long minutes of talking between them and convince the queen that we have to go to war to
Yeah,
defend
but-
the Middle Earth. It was something like 2 chapters. these things, and he doesn't have any motivation to do anything.
Yeah, that's the problem. He doesn't want to do
If he's
anything.
Sauron and you don't want to tell us that he's Sauron, at least show us something bad in his character, something
Evil or mischievous
yeah,
or something
like
cunning
that.
even.
He can't be nothing and suddenly, no, I'm Sauron, believe me.
No, the problem...
It doesn't work like this.
Think about the problem. When they get to Numenor, and she wants to bring an army to Middle Earth to help to fight orcs. What orcs exactly? We see orcs...
Where are they?
Think about it.
They're
the orcs...
beneath the ground.
No, but the orcs in this show is a bunch, it's a pack of orcs,
Yeah.
not an army,
Doesn't move in
led
daylight.
by the first Uruk, by Adar. Okay, how in the world does Galadriel know who they are and if there are orcs? Because if you follow Galadriel's story, there isn't one orc that she's seen before going to Numenor. So what kind of enemy is she talking about? But you know what? Okay, I'll forgive you for that. But Halbrand doesn't do anything. He just wants to be a smith in Numenor. So
Yeah. It doesn't.
what is Sauron about him?
Sauron's want to walk as a smith, man. Come on.
That's like, it doesn't add when you think of him being
I think
Sauron.
the writer themselves doesn't know who's going to be Sauron
and
until the end.
And they decided on episode 7, you know what? Halbrand will be Sauron. And even when they get back and they fight the Uruks, I don't want to talk about the timeline issues here. Out from Numenor, they took 3 ships, thousands of soldiers and horses with 3 tiny ships. You know what? Kind of forgive them. You know, there's magic in this world. You know what? I'll forgive them. How did they know to meet Arondir and the Southlanders exactly at the same time and place when the pack of orcs, not army, pack of orcs decided to attack them? How did she know they are there? Did Arondir phone call Galadriel and told her, you know what, there's some orcs here?
Help us. Brings all the army.
They didn't even send, you know what, if they sent a raven or like a pigeon or like some messenger, I would say, you know what, maybe. But there's nothing. Even in Lord of the Rings, the way that Ron helps Gondor is that Gandalf and Pippin decide to beacon the leads. So there is some messaging between the factions and stuff like that. But nothing here, they suddenly appear. So.
Okay, there is something else, for my opinion. All the strategic of the fighting the orcs and maybe to defeat them and maybe to install them until the help will come was, for me, I'm not a strategic war plan, but they had a keep. It's very tall. It's well defended. Most of the people were farmer. The peasants.
Yeah.
Doesn't do anything with swords and everything. They decide to destroy all the keep by shooting one arrow to cut rope to everything will fall, bury the orcs, not all the orcs of course, and they fall back to their village. The village was 4 or 5 houses made of wood, and they wanted
not a safe place.
and just a second, and they wanted to take the children and everyone inside a wood. Yeah, and to keep them there. This is the safe place. If you took one arrow with fire on it and you shoot, everyone will burn without effort.
Yeah.
Because they close it from being breached by the orcs.
And that's
So if you shoot one arrow with a fire, you completely
and it
kill
shows you
everyone.
how dumb the orcs are.
The next strategic war plan was to cover. Everyone was stay cover. The orcs, they have a narrow bridge. All the orcs walks on the narrow bridge. Never mind, they can make a terror runner. Never mind, the
I
orcs are
didn't
stupid.
quite mind it like you do.
The orcs are stupid. Okay, they walk. And they're trying to take a carriage and make it run inside them. What does it have? What is it going to do? There is 1,000 of them. They kill maybe
they're not
5,
that.
4.
There's like hundreds. I
No,
don't
it's
know.
maybe make a lot of light because it was in the dark, so we can see the fight. I don't know what it's going
It
to
just
do.
it's a lightning. It's lightning for the fight.
It's lighting issue.
The fight choreography is.
They
bad
didn't
as well.
succeed to turn it on, but eventually they'll start. I don't know how they do. And all the villages become like superheroes. They fight like I don't know how, like Aragorn it's in a Lord of the Rings. Everyone killed at least 5 or 10 orcs. By, how we kill
Pikes.
Pikes, something that he found in the bar, in the barn. I don't know, without weapon, I don't know how they stole it. Okay, as I said, the orcs are stupid, but there is no, there is no commander of the orc, or
Yeah, Adar is just there, but
either is jail. He talks to them. He makes them. You remember the courage that he make talk to them. Orcs are stupid, and you don't have to give them a
reason to fight.
It's
They will fight.
It's not their coach, and they're going to go and play against the other team. They are stupid. They're going to go kill yourself, whatever. They're going. They afraid. They move by fear. They don't need to talk, especially talk to them in English.
You know what? I'm gonna give them a pass on that. I don't really mind the English. I would have
You
preferred.
can't.
I would
You
have
can pass everything. You know?
Yeah, but I would have preferred if the dwarves in Khazad-dûm would have spoken Dwarvish, and the elves would have spoken Elvish, and the orcs would have spoken Black speech.
At least at the beginning.
Yeah, just the start of sentences.
2 sentences and then everyone speak English. That's fine.
yeah.
But from the beginning to speak English, it's
You know,
like everyone
I don't
is
really
the
mind
same.
it, but it does take a bit from the experience, not much, but well, I wanted to say something. Oh,
Wait a second. We have to continue. So, after the people killed everyone. Okay, killed everyone. They found that the orcs are not really orcs, but the other village they are joined Sauron in the fight. Other whatever Sauron, we don't know who he is. And then all the orcs came along and were mostly killed everyone.
And as I've said before, some miracle and the Numenorians with Galadriel came,
Numenor came with
saved
the
the
orcs.
day. But that's the biggest thing ever, guys. And I'm gonna tell you. There's one of them takes the sword that's supposed to be Sauron, and he does something, and he activates the dam.
There is a tool. There is an ancient tool that how do you call him? Erenor?
No. מה אתה רוצה להגיד?
What is his name?
Arundir.
Arundir tried to destroy the tool. There is a tool, ancient tool. He tried to destroy it. If you remember, it's like Gimli tried to destroy the ring, and this is succeed. It's the same scenes whatsoever. It doesn't succeed. He grab it with Smartut.
It doesn't really matter. The point is they activate the dam. I don't
Why
wanna
he gave? If you remember, they gave.
They
to
gave the kid.
Why did the kid?
That's a stupid decision. Why the hell would Arundir give this sword of Sauron to Theo? I have no idea. But you know what? I guess so. Let's move on. They activate the dam, and the dam the water goes to summer, and it goes inside to
All the tunnel that the orcs
dogs built, and it goes to a mountain. This mountain is a lava mountain. They activate an eruption of a lava mountain, and everything becomes to ruin. And the next episode was like ashes and everything all over the place.
Yeah, you saw. Wait a second. Okay, as I said, you see a volcano, and you see a burning ashes, and everyone is covered with it.
I don't agree with you on that point at all.
If volcano ashes touch you, it's burn you.
Okay, so
and you die. If you remember Pompeii, all the people that you find, the dogs, are not from the lava they hurt.
Okay.
It's from the ashes, the
Okay.
burning ashes. Okay, but
Frodo and Sam literally went inside Mount Doom and didn't die. So if you're going to give a pass on that, give a pass on this.
no, it's not the same.
It is
because
entirely the
Frodo and Sam
It's entirely the same.
walked,
With
and beneath them, a long way down, was the lava.
And when they ran, when
it's finished.
they throw the ring inside,
Yeah.
they ran away, and the lava was like that close to their feet,
Yeah.
and they didn't die. And the eagles came. So if you're going to give that a pass, you need to give this show on this thing a pass as well. I don't agree with you on this point whatsoever.
You don't agree, but I say it's impossible to happen.
And it's impossible to enter a mountain
So
of lava.
we agree to disagree.
On that point, we disagree entirely. We didn't speak about the huge lore. Okay, there are 2 lore changes, and we're gonna go on them briefly because I don't want this video to be too long. What was the whole Balrog?
Wait a
scene?
second. Before the Balrog, it doesn't.
What before the Balrog?
What about the?
Okay, you know what? There's Elrond and Durin
What about
story.
the mithril issues?
And they want to get the mithril, and when they try to mine the mithril, and that's where the stupid things begin. They want to mine the mithril, and something happens, and Durin's father, Durin the Third, doesn't want to give them the mithril.
Yeah, how
And
chapter?
That was
the
seven.
no?
Yeah, 7.
How long this talk between them?
Oh, it takes a couple of episodes, but that's where the problem begins, the continuity. Gil-galad gives Elrond
A leaf.
a leaf that is starting to die. Now, I'm not a huge geography person, and I don't know how huge Middle-earth is, but I'm pretty sure that from Linden to Khazad-dûm is about a couple of hundred of kilometers or miles. So I have no idea how the leaf traveled from Linden to Khazad-dûm entirely intact. You know what? I'm gonna give it a pass. But that's where the real weird stuff starts to happen. They decide not to help. Durin the Fourth, the child, wants to help, but Durin the Third, his father doesn't let him. So Elrond leaves the leaf on Durin's desk, and he walks away.
Yeah, there's
And
something
then-
like 3 chapters.
And then there's like a small mithril ore that Durin throws. It miraculously becomes this close to the leaf and suddenly starts to heal it. Then Durin decides that, you know what, I'm not gonna listen to my father's wishes and his orders, and I'm gonna help Elrond. Okay. And they started mining the
Close the hole in the mine.
the mines, and they see a lot of mithril over there, and then his father comes and stops him, and Elrond goes away. The problem there is a magic leaf. Somehow the leaf managed to travel all the way from Durin's desk to all the way down to the mountain, and near the opening where they opened the mountain
Shaft.
Yeah, exactly. And somehow, not only did it travel there, it entered right inside the little shaft that they made, and started its journey
It's sort of falling, and the
down
wind
the
is taking
mountain.
inside the huge
Huge corridors and huge
Khazad-dûm, whatever its
yes,
place is.
all the way to the down and the bottom of the mountain.
And guess what happened when the lift
You
touched the
see-
ground?
You see the leaf started to burn, and then you see the Balrog. Now, what the hell were they thinking? A leaf is the thing that wakes the Balrog. Like, think about it. When they mine the mountain with pickaxe, the Balrog's sleeping, but a leaf, a small leaf, that's what angers the Balrog. The huge Balrog is angered by a leaf, not dwarves all the day mining his mountain. No. So he wakes up, and you don't see him again. He's not on the last episode, so it's just like it's just there for the cool
I think
part.
what they made with the Balrog is just make us all the nostalgia lovers to wake up.
Just like this shirt.
Yeah, and this just of course.
So I have no idea what they thought over there. They thought it would be cool, but it was quite terrible. And before we get to the last scenes in the show, there's, as you know, the stranger with Nori.
Yeah.
And I still don't know who he is. Like, in the last episode, that like the entire journey of his character is you don't know who he is. And in the last episode, I think they said he's supposed to be like 5 different characters.
Yeah.
At the start of it, they think he's Sauron. Well, he's not Sauron, and there's like 3.
He doesn't want to make a bad thing.
Yeah, there's like 3 witches that try to
Follow him and
and like
maybe
one
catch
of them
him.
is really cool, like the skin, like the buzz cut
This
woman
was
with the blonde one.
This was the.
If she would have been Sauron, I would
this
have
was
been
the
much
interesting
happier.
things.
Yeah.
But they didn't develop.
She was a
well.
really cool character, and I really liked her, but her like sidekicks were so stupid. I have no idea how the Halfoots almost beat them. You know what? At that point, I wasn't really interested in the stuff that happened. And you learn that he isn't Sauron. He's supposed to be one of the Istaris. Now, the Istaris are 5 wizards: Gandalf, Saruman, Radagast, and the Blue Wizards. Now, there is a huge dissonance here in our house that nobody really knows who he is. My little sister thinks it's Gandalf because not only when he killed them, they turned into butterflies, and Gandalf can talk to butterflies and moth.
Yeah.
At the very end of his last shot, he tells Nori, when in doubt, always follow your nose. So that's literally 1-for-1 a line from Gandalf.
Yeah.
So you might think he's Gandalf, but if you go to lore-wise, it can be Gandalf because firstly, he's not the first, and secondly, he's not supposed to go to Rhûn. The Blue Wizards are supposed to go to runes, and the Istari, the Istari are called wise, so it could be Saruman, but he healed the tree, so it might be Radagast. So more questions than ever about his
Wait a
character.
second. You think you understand this stranger? You think?
No, but I want to tell you something. The story about him in the last episode, I think, is the most interesting part in this show.
Wait a second. Before that, all the villagers are they look like Hobbit, but they're not Hobbit. They are something else. Harfoots. You don't know what their purpose.
Yeah,
you don't-
they want to.
Travel? What?
Yeah, they travel from places to places.
They hate the stranger in a bit.
And they want to help
after
him.
that, everyone leave the village and go to help them in his quest.
Yeah.
And it's very dangerous. And they're going to die, maybe.
Just bad. And one of them does die.
Yeah.
Sadok Boros. Wow, the accents here sometimes are so atrocious.
Yeah.
Like most of the time, I don't mind the accents, but like the name, like when they pronounce name, I just cannot stop laughing. Sadok Boros. I'm sorry if I'm butchering accents, but it sounds exactly like that. Or Galadriel and Sauron. The accents when they say Mordor. Guys, it's quite bad. Like the pronunciation of names, especially, you can really see it, and it's just bad. And let's talk about the end of the show, because I think this video could be like an hour long of us just saying the bad stuff. It's a shame. It ends with the biggest lore change, in my opinion, and something that kind of ruined the experience for me even more, is that for some reason Galadriel is the one.
There is no king for the south.
No, I don't mind about that, and she confronts Sauron and everything. The problem is that she is the one that goes to Celebrimbor and tells him, you know what, let's make 3 rings. And I'm like, what? Since when Galadriel was the one that made the rings with Celebrimbor? And it's supposed to be Sauron, and
they're supposed to do it in Mount Doom.
in Mordor, in the fires of Mount Doom. So what, like, that was the worst part in the series for me. I mean, the Balrog was stupid, but I kind of understand why they wanted it. It's like a teaser for the 2nd season. But Sauron is supposed to make all of those rings with Celebrimbor and give them to the men, to the elves, to the dwarves, and I have no idea what they wanted to do with this, that Galadriel is the one that, you know what, let's make those rings. And for what purpose?
I think Galadriel, when she speak with Halbrand, she told them, you are Sauron. He doesn't know it until then. It was a surprise for him. You know? Because it doesn't relate to anything in this season. It can't be Sauron if he was supposed to be some good. He wants to do good. He doesn't want to.
I thought he was the king of the dead at first. That didn't help Isildur fight Sauron.
Yes, it could be.
I thought it would have been more interesting that the Southlands didn't want to have Isildur.
When she confront them and tell them that she found out that he is Sauron, then it become very bad.
Yeah.
They shoot it in the eyes and everything. All the shots was terrifying.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you something. I don't know if you'll agree with me. I do hope in the 2nd season we find out that Galadriel is Sauron. Because when you think about it, she is more Sauron than any other. She creates the ring. She makes Numenor suffer.
And if they have problem, Nuri can always take the job.
Oh, that would be brilliant.
Yeah.
I do hope that they make Galadriel Sauron and the real Galadriel is somewhere else sleeping or something like that.
Sleeping Beauty or something.
That would be so unexpected, but for the better, because I think Galadriel could be Sauron. She makes so like bad decisions and evil decisions as well.
So,
I'm sorry. We wanted to do a shorter video than usual, but you can't. It's quite sad.
it's a terrible series. A lot of expensive, too much expensive. I don't know. For me, it's
There aren't any hopes for second season, so I hope that when I come with no expectations at all, that it will probably be better.
I hope they fire everyone that worked on the first season.
But that's harsh.
No, maybe not all the actors.
No, some
But
of the
I
actors are good.
Yeah,
But
but most of the writers, scripts,
okay.
whatever direction, everyone will go home, and you crew will rise up from the ashes of this series and make a better one. The good thing, they can from
They
this
can't
point,
make it any worse.
any worse it can be, and from here,
The only way is up.
that's it. I think we conclude.
So
I don't want to give any numbers for this. There is no one to scale option to give.
well,
I
there is. I don't. It's not a one. It can't be one.
Okay, I think it's beyond any. You know, when when the teacher find out that people make so horrible work, she doesn't want to insult him.
She just
give-
say fail.
No, maybe next year.
Yeah, maybe next time.
Yeah, maybe next time.
Maybe next time. So thank you very much for watching.
And suffer with us.
Yeah. So as always, we're the Movie Busters,
Yeah.
and until next time, see ya.